Welcome back to Boxing Conversations with Swaggy. What can I say? I told ya.
Before we get back to the video, I just want to tell you guys that I sell hoodies. If you live in East London, it's $4.50. If you live in another province, it's $5.50 because of courier. Thank you for your patience. Now we gotta get back to boxing.
Emmanuel Navarette just stopped Eduardo Nunez. I told you guys. I literally said it. I told you. And I checked the odds last night. I actually noticed that Eduardo Nunez was the favorite coming in, which I understood because people were used to seeing him knock people out. Like I said, he only went the distance like 2 times, so I could understand where they were coming from. But I told you guys, Navarette is just too much, man. Like I told ya, I feel like Navarette is on another level, you feel me? But I still think that Eduardo Nunez still has a great future ahead of him in the sport of boxing. I think that Eddie Hearn is someone who will not give up on him. He will give him the right fights in order to, guarantee his comeback. I feel like he will definitely come back. I also feel like Emmanuel Navarette is kind of big for 130. I don't think that Navarette is gonna stay at 130 for a long time. I really think that Navarette is gonna move up. Navarette is really a big 130 pounder. So I really think that he's gonna move up, and I don't think that moving up in weight is out of reach for Emmanuel Navarette. He is already a 3-division world champion. He has won the WBO world title at 122 pounds, at 126 pounds, and he is now the unified WBO and IBF world champion in the 130-pound division, which is the junior lightweight division. So I think that moving up will only serve him right. He's already, a legend in Mexico. I had already told you guys, if you would watch my last prediction of the fight between Navarette and Eduardo Nunez, that Navarette is the fighter that is well known. He has traveled around the world, in as much as Nunez also has. Nunez has went to Japan, America, Mexico, but I think Navarette has been exposed to digital networks such as ESPN, The Zone. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Navarette has been on PBC. That would not come as a shocker to me, because we know that Navarette is just up there with the greats. He has beaten the likes of Oscar Valdez, and I have to apologize to you guys. I said that Navarette lost once to Liam Wilson. That was an error. He actually lost to Dennis Berenchik. That's who he lost to, and that's who I was, referring to. So my apologies. He actually beat Liam Wilson, so he did not lose to Liam Wilson. I'm just a human, guys, so I also make mistakes, but yeah, it's Dennis Berenchik who he lost to, and I don't think that Dennis Berenchik is on Navarette's level. But like I said, the problem was fitness, conditioning, all that stuff. Dennis Berenchik got stopped by Keyshawn Davis. When Keyshawn Davis won his first world title, he stopped Dennis Berenchik. Keyshawn Davis himself has been vocal fighting Emmanuel Navarette when he was still campaigning at 135. You know, he was talking about moving down and all that stuff, but now that's not part of Keyshawn's conversations. That happened like a while ago. But let's talk about the present. The current WBC world champion at 130, which is Navarette's division, is O'Shaquie Foster. The potential fight would be Emmanuel Navarette versus O'Shaquie Foster. I think that would be a great fight. It would be a very tricky fight. I think that O'Shaquie Foster is very slick. I think that he proved the doubters wrong in his fight against Stephen Fulton. I think that many people thought he was gonna lose that fight, me included. I really thought that Fulton is gonna pull it off, but unfortunately that's not how it happened. O'Shaquie Foster won the fight. O'Shaquie Foster won damn near every round, if I'm being honest. However, Foster is a great fighter. However, any fight against Navarette, damn, that would be a very great fight. That would be a tricky fight. As I'm speaking to you guys, I'm actually thinking of how the fight would pan out. Damn, because Foster is tricky. He can outbox you. He has the ability to be in a war too. He doesn't mind going to war. I have watched his fight against Abraham Nova. There are a couple of fights of Foster which I watched from like 3 to 4 years ago. Like, he was a real fighter. Like, he was going to war. I watched his fight against Abraham Nova. I watched his 2 fights against Robinson Consalcio from Brazil. I know that I'm not pronouncing it well, but come on, that's a difficult name to pronounce. But anyways, in his fights against Robinson Consalcio, Foster was not impressive. I won't lie. However, he won. But in his most recent fight against Fulton, that's where he proved himself. Navarette has been beating good guys up, but he has never fought someone like Foster, someone who's slick. Even Tim Bradley stated in his most recent post on YouTube, on his most recent video on YouTube, shout out to Tim Bradley. You already know that damn rest. Yeah, I'm a fan. Yeah, TB said that Navarette has to fight someone with speed, someone who's gonna make him think, and I think Foster is the guy. I really think that Foster is the guy. But as far as I'm concerned, I still think Navarette would win that fight. Make no mistake, O'Shaquie Foster is good. O'Shaquie Foster is skillful, he's fast, he has respectable power. However, I don't think that Fulton is as good as Navarette. Fulton was unfit in that fight. Not taking any credit away from Foster, he put on a great performance. But I'm just saying, like, Foster would beat fighters like Raymond Ford. I used to think Ray Savage would beat Foster. Ray Savage is Raymond Ford's. Let me not confuse you guys. That's just his nickname. But in his most recent outings, I'm convinced that Foster would beat Ray Savage. However, I'm more of a Ray Savage fan than a Foster fan, but I'm just being honest. But as far as Navarette is concerned, he would beat both of them. I think Navarette is the king of the division. We know that the WBA title, which was held by Lamont Roach, it wasn't vacant for a long time. There's a fighter named, he's from England, if I'm not mistaken. Is he from England or Australia? I think he's from England. And I think it's signed by Mushroom. His name is Jazza Dickens. He got upgraded to full champion. He has a fight coming up against Anthony Kakachi, and I do not know who Jazza Dickens is. I don't know how he fights. However, I do know Anthony Kakachi. He can crack. Very, very explosive. So yeah, but I don't know Jazza Dickens. So I don't want to have a prediction on that fight. But based on what I know, Anthony Kakachi can crack. So that's gonna be, interesting. So what I'm trying to say is that Navarrete can definitely beat Anthony Kakashi too. I think that Navarrete is the king of the division at 130. He can go for undisputed, and he will achieve it, and he can move up and achieve greater things or call it a day. Because remember, Navarrete now has like 45 fights. This was his 45th fight against Nunez. So yeah, he has experience, but we know that Mexicans turn pro at a very young age. Navarrete doesn't look old at all. He's only 31, so he is in his prime, I think Nunez was 28 years old when they fought, and I told you guys, go watch my fight prediction. I told ya. I wasn't even surprised because I just did not see how Nunez would beat Navarrete. I just did not. Just like how I don't see Foster beating Navarrete. I know people are gonna expect Foster to win, which is gonna put on a greater effort than Nunez, but Navarrete is so awkward. Navarrete has a difficult style for anyone. And on top of that, once he is ready for a fight, it's over. Like, once he's fit and his, strength, conditioning, fitness is on point, like, once he commits himself down, he has natural abilities, So, yeah, that's what I have to say. Yeah, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. More content on the way, if you love boxing or if you are interested in the sport, you just like listening to fight analysis, breakdowns, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and yeah, man, shout out.
Southpaw, the most factual and funniest, hands down. Wouldn't mind if I upload. I wouldn't mind if you upload every second. All love, Southpaw TV. Thank you, Mr. Boxing Conversation with Swaggy. I like your channel too. You got a dope channel. I see your shit.
Box Conversation with Swaggy. What's up, family? Salute to South Africa.